founded in the year 1860. She's 166 years old and is the oldest building here in Virginia City. To put that in perspective for you, this building was here before Nevada was even a state. And to give you a good visual representation of what the rest of town looked like, it was nothing but mining camps and tents in very hostile territory when people first settled here. The room you guys are in right now, this is the old mining office. So this was the base for a lot of mining operations back in the day. So they literally ran the mining business in this room. Coincidentally, our mine sat across the street. It was called the Gould and Curry Mine. Our miners would come in through these doors, do business with the superintendent, and then they would store silver and gold in our secret vault, which if you guys are good today, you guys will be able to see the vault today on the tour. Our first superintendent of this mansion was this man right here. His name is Mr. George Hearst. His son, William Randolph Hearst, built the infamous Hearst Castle out in San Simeon, California. When George got here, he only spent a whopping $400 to build this mansion. Around that same time in 1859, there was a fellow by the name of John Mackay. He was an Irish immigrant and shipbuilder. We've Americanized the name to Mackey now. He had attempted to get into the California gold rush, but he busted, so he didn't have a penny to his name. So John Mackey was stuck walking all the way from Downeyville, California to Virginia City on foot that year. When he got here, he started as a pick and shovel man, and he met three men. They became his business partners. Their names were James Fair, James Flood, and William O'Brien. With John Mackey being the fourth, those men band together. They formed a world-famous group. They called themselves the Bonanza Firm. And what their job was to do was to buy out old mines in town that people thought were played out. And I usually say, the guys who had sold off those mines probably should have held on a lot longer, including poor Hearst here. He ended up selling this mansion in the mine across the street to John in 1871. 2 years later, what makes John Mackey so famous? They hit the world's largest silver strike in history, known as the Great Bonanza Strike. They pulled over $100 million worth of silver out of that mine. That would have equivalated to a cool $3 billion in our money today. That silver strike was also about the size of a football field, and the silver was so pure what they were digging out of the ground, hardly any processing was needed. Those men rightfully earned the titles, the Silver Kings, or the Silver Barons, or the Bonanza Kings. John Mackey went on to being the 17th most wealthiest man in the world, and that was after splitting the fortune 4 ways between his partners. John Mackey also went on to doing the transatlantic cable line, starting the New York City subway system, and it was actually John Mackey's ship, the Mackey Bennett, that pulled up all the dead bodies from the Titanic.
Whoa.
Yes.
Why does that clock go to 31?
I could not tell you. I don't think it was originally to the mansion, honestly. I think they brought it in here. It is 1800s though. Right over here, this is a roll-top desk and chair here. This was both used by George Hearst and John Mackey. Right over here, this is an ore sample cabinet. This was built here in 1860. On the top shelves are some of the original ore samples pulled out of the mine. Yes, it is.
The ladies in the back, he's being very polite and letting us in. Would you please stop? You're doing a great job.
Thank you. All right, over here, you guys, this is a real human skull. Yes, this was dug up on the mansion's property about 4 years ago when they were building a retaining wall out back. We have yet to find the rest of the skeleton's remains, but we recently had a forensic anthropologist take a look at the skull. They dated it to be over 100 years old and a man in his late 20s to early 30s. We'll talk a little bit more about the ghosts in a little bit, and you guys will even get to see a ghost picture today if you're good.
The phone went to the skull.
Hey guys.
It's kind of crazy.
You guys will find all of the light fixtures in this mansion to be original. They was originally switched over to electricity in 1878 when Thomas Edison products were at their height. And actually, Thomas Edison came to Virginia City, you guys. So he actually installed the electricity in this mansion himself. So today, you guys will see some Edison wiring on display. So this is a very famous picture taken here in Virginia City. So we have a young John Mackey right here. Please ignore the film scratching on his face. We have Mr. Fair. He was one of our Bonanza Kings. We have his wife, Mrs. Fair. We have Governor Tim Kincaid. He was our current governor here in the state of Nevada. And this man in the center of the photo is our President of the United States and our Civil War General, Ulysses S. Grant. If you guys don't know who that is off the top of your head, that is the man on the $50 bill. And then this lady right here is Grant's wife. Yes, that's a woman. This is not the most flattering photo of Julia Grant in the whole wide world. We have Grant's son, Mrs. Gillette. She was a good family friend of the Grants. And this man right here is very important as well. That's John Mackey's personal assistant. His name is Mr. Yanada, and he was actually Japanese, not Chinese, which was very rare for the time era here in Virginia City because back in the day here, most of our worker bees were Chinese. Now you guys, we did have a famous celebrity come stay with us in the year 1995, so a little bit more modern. I'm gonna see if you guys know who this man is on our front porch. If anybody can guess this correctly, you'll win a really cool prize from me. We all like prizes, don't we?
Yeah.
Alrighty, you guys, so you must raise your hand in order to answer, otherwise I won't count it. I haven't even shown you the picture yet. How do you know? Okay, so do you guys know who this man is? Do you know?
Michael Jackson.
That is not Michael Jackson. Do you know? Do you know?
Oh, Keanu Reeves.
That's not Keanu Reeves, but he's more famous actor than Keanu Reeves.